Hey y'all, looks like I have a time limit today. I'm just on here talking to the video because ain't shit done changed but the day. Uh, you know, Toxic as fuck situations here that I'm dealing with, and obviously anyone who's really followed me knows that I've been on a healing journey because at some point in my life, I basically was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not going along with everybody's bullshit. Like, I'm not the one. And I don't have time to get into everything, but let's just say, I've always felt like a complete outcast of my family, which I don't really even consider to be my family. Honestly, it's just people that used to have a blood relation to me. There's nothing of what I would consider a family should be is at all. So, the thing is, every once in a while, really don't speak to anyone. Every once in a while, I do get thrown into the mix of not even trying again. It's just like on a random whatever. Like, I think I ended up, and especially with my mother, and I think I ended up very, very small, like less than 10-minute visits can sometimes be okay. But so my grandma died, and it brought back a lot of family members who basically, most everyone I'm related to got the fuck out of Ohio because they were obviously smart and I wasn't, right? That was the big thing for a while. Like, look, if I could go back and redo my entire situation or my entire life, well, for one, I don't think I'd be volunteering to incarnate here at all because it's some bullshit. But you guys know me. I'm anti-mask. I'm speaking out about it. I'm anti-vaccine. I'm anti-government control. Okay? I'm just anti all of that shit. And you know how hard it is, like, for most people anyways, like, in regular life, like, well, it's not hard for me because I don't really fucking care. I will defend myself. Like, I'm at the point where I think I have mastered a lot of emotions. I really, truly have mastered a lot. And so every once in a while, we get thrown back into the toxicity that we're trying to heal from. So has been my case. Well, every single one of my extended blood relatives, like aunts, uncles, cousins, they're literally all masked up. My one cousin was even putting masks on her freaking toddlers. I'm against it. I'm against it, and I'm not shy about being against it. I do not mask my children. I do not mask myself. And so, there wasn't a rule. I mean, obviously it says wear your mask, but that's just I don't listen to it, right? I don't listen to it. Never have, never gonna. So, my aunt, I'm just now most places, nobody's gonna say anything. But, this is family, so here we go. So my aunt's like, oh, do you need some masks for you and your kids? And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm anti-communism, and I don't go along with your fear monger agenda. Thanks. Simple. That's all I said. no other issues, but you know, it was just, the whole thing is crazy. It would have been nice to be able to get a little closer to people, to care about people or give hugs or whatever, but it's like, you know, we're not all like that anyway, you know what I mean? I don't know, like, it's kind of like waving from afar, which is fine, it's whatever. Like, I'm not sad, I'm not upset about anything. Like, death has never bothered me because I know that, you know, souls don't really die. So it's kind of like, okay, well, whatever. Like, she got to go very peacefully, how anybody would prefer, you know, and so I'm fine. Like, she was very old, my grandma. She's like 96, 98. But the real fucking kicker is, like, throw me in a room with my birth mother and it's just, I can't. I just can't. Like, and I try and I can't. And I even said, I said, look, you have your own experience. I have my own experience. I try to, like, say this, you know, like, I can't expect people to see things my way. I have given up on that. I've had to give up on that. I feel like, even my, like, two of my sons have kind of like, I don't know. But I'm just on here basically venting because there's a bit of confusion about the everyone is you pushed out thing, theory. I actually haven't tried to do that on my mom, and I'm starting to wonder if I should try, because my mother, this is the old story. My mother has never been nice to me, and yet, you guys, after I started on this healing stuff, right? Like, I'm not, like, I'm going to defend myself. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm not going to sit back meek and just take people's bullshit. Like, that's not what I'm going to do. And a lot of the time, when you start getting into your personal power, start trying to raise up your self-esteem, people who can't verbally abuse you anymore, they start to have a real problem with you setting boundaries. And so I'm kind of seeing that happen, right? So, I think she's got a real problem with me defending myself. And the crazy thing is because now that I'm like, you know, I don't want to say I'm fully healed or anything, but I am quite learned in a lot of this shit. So I know enough to say that, you know, her saying this shit to me, it's like, I don't know if it's a reflection of my wounding from her or if it's she's just saying her own mirror. Like, I don't know. But I do know that it's the full moon. Well, technically it's going to be all the way full tomorrow night. And I did read that there's a lot of past, like, wounding coming up to be healed. And I can guarantee you, now anyone who watches me has known that I've spoken very much about the mother wound. Now, most commonly, people talk about daddy issues which technically is called the father wound. But you guys, even more so than the father wound really truly affects people is actually the mother wound. When you have, and everybody has to some degree of this, I think, well, maybe not people raised in like functional loving households, but anybody that has a dysfunctional household or family does harbor some kind of a mother wound. And I believe that what was getting mirrored back to me. So if your mother, if you were never accepted or loved or cared for or like celebrated by your mother, you're gonna have a mother wound. So, and here the thing is like, when I step back and say, okay, my mom, her acting this way towards me, it doesn't actually have anything to do with me. She is her own wounded inner child. And this pattern has been passed down and passed down and passed down to me now. And I'm just not going to perpetuate it. I'm just not. I'm not going to play this out. I'm not playing this bullshit out. Like, I don't know if there's anything I can do because I am the black sheep of the family, but like my coach told me, I'm not actually the black sheep, I'm actually the shining light. And I see that now more and more, and it's, to a human ego, it would feel isolating and lonely. But to a soul-led being of light, I can see that there's a purpose for this. I really can, because I'm the only one. I'm the only one standing up for anything. And the humans will say like, oh my God, why can't you just go along? Why can't you just wear the mask? It's for everybody's good. No, it's not for everybody's good. And if it wasn't for people like me actually having the fucking balls to stand up and say, no, it's not for everybody's good, like, there would be no hope. But they will never see that. They don't see that. So what do they say? What do they say? Like, I'm nutty, goofy. What do they say with their stupid shit? You know what? To be considered crazy in a toxic world is actually a compliment. I wasn't here, I guess, to experience a happy, loving family. If I was here for that, I would have had that. And as painful as it has been, that pain was the fuel that I needed, and, you know, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I don't have a mother-daughter relationship. That's fine. I'm fine with it now. But what I won't tolerate is fucking straight out lies. Okay? That's what I won't tolerate. I won't tolerate someone twisting or invalidating my experience, because let's get real. I've studied all of this. They've not studied shit. I've studied how when you have either emotionally unavailable, verbally abusive, physically abusive parents or guardians, the child believes that's normal. The child internalizes that they're just shit. And then the child who grows up attracts that same abuse from their relationship partners. And so when my mom likes to say that, oh, anything good about whatever, it's like, okay, you go ahead and you tell yourself that. But I'm a single mother of 6 who's gone through 4 highly abusive relationships. So chances are, if I would have ever been loved properly or cared for in any kind of a normal, nice way, I wouldn't have attracted highly abusive partners who abandoned me and my children now, would I? Because that doesn't really happen to nice, happy, nicely raised, loved people. Hold on. I mean, that's just straight up facts, right? So, like, I see some, hold on. I've seen peers of mine who literally have nice families, nice, caring, loving families, who grew up to meet someone else who loves and cares for them the same way as their whole family did. Like, people go on vacations, they like want to be around each other. People that I'm related to, like, nobody even wants to be anywhere near each other. Well, maybe some of them do, like amongst each other, but I got nothing in common. I got no reason to be around anyone. I'm the ostracized one. But see, this is typical starseed stuff. This, if you're in the 144,000 chosen starseeds, chances are you got the same story as I do, and for a long time, I would internalize that, and I would allow, like, the feelings of being left out, like when I was a kid and all my cousins would have fun and I'd be like left out. Like, now I see that there was some major wounding from a lot of that stuff, and I can trace it back. Like, I was on a horrible cycle, like the one that like really, 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 really got me was the man I'm still legally married to. They just take off. They just go, like, without any kind of a nothing. Like, I'll be really, really attached and like love, love, love them, and then there's just no attachment there. So, like, because I never had like a healthy attachment as a kid, it was a lot of codependency, which now I feel like I've healed a lot of the codependency. I've had to, like, learn a lot of these techniques and tactics and kind of rewire a lot of stuff. But the fact of the matter is, I was definitely just attracted to emotionally unavailable, some may say narcissistic, and quite frankly, downright abusive people, because that was my patterning. That was the pattern that got put onto me as a child. Just constantly beat down verbally that I'm not good enough, I'm shit. And I didn't realize any of this. I always say, like, wow, if the internet could have been around and I could have actually realized that it's the patterns, it's the programs, I could have maybe had some kind of a chance, but that's what I'm here doing now. I'm helping people. I'm helping people break out of these toxic patterns. And you know what? The people who are so fucking toxic and doing this shit, they will never admit it. Like, they don't, their ego will suffer so much cognitive dissonance that they can't admit that maybe, just maybe, that even though they thought that they were such a good parent and did everything right and did everything they could, maybe, just maybe, they were wrong. And you know what? I'll admit that too. I always felt like I did the best I could for all of my kids when they were young and they needed me. But then kind of pretty much once I started awakening, I started realizing, like, you know what? It's not healthy for someone to have to be the caretaker 24/7, 365. Nothing about that makes me a good, like I'm sitting here being a martyr for my kids. That's not a badge of honor. That's just fucking sad. Like, healthy boundaries with kids is important too. And being the sole parent for so long, 24/7, that's not healthy. A mom should have breaks as well. And this is what normal functioning people do. Normal functioning parents in a healthy relationship share the parenting duties. Mom's allowed to go shopping. Mom's allowed to go get coffee with friends. Mom's allowed to go do stuff. So is dad. They also do things together as a family, and they're together every night. So when I kind of had to step back and start putting up boundaries about my time and my prioritizing my healing, people, oh, you're mean. Oh, am I? Am I mean? Or am I just putting myself first instead of going along with what you want me to do, right? So this is what I'm being met with today with my mom. Am I really mean, or am I just standing up for myself when you're trying to tell me a non-truth about my own self? So that's a lot of this stuff. That's a lot of the healing. And you know, healing and being a spiritual person does not mean that you sit there and you shut up and you just turn the other way or just be quiet in your meditation while somebody wants to proceed to talk shit to you. That's not what spiritual is. You can definitely still tell somebody to fuck the fuck off when you're spiritual, because I've done my inner work. I've done a lot of the past life regressions. I now can own the emotions and the feelings that got put on to me through the experiences that I've had. And I have worked really hard to work through those, and to be invalidated about my experience. And I told her, I said, look, I know that you meant well, and I will give you that credit. Do you want to feel better? Do you just want to feel better? Because I'll tell you, sure, I know you did your best. But then when you try to go deeper than that, like you can't tell somebody, okay, you're seriously wounded from your own childhood and you don't even know about it. So everything that you bought and sold yourself as normal, or how you do things, oh, we just do it like this because we just do it like this. Oh, really? And just think about all that abuse that gets carried on through the generations. Oh, we just do it like this because we just do it like this. And then no one just stops to say, hey, I'm not going to do it like that anymore, okay? That doesn't work for me. So, you know, I'm sure I've done my own share of fucking everything up. I mean, I was definitely not awake when I had my kids. I always say, if I was awake when I had my kids, I wouldn't have had them. Duh. I wouldn't have attracted abusive relationships if I was healed. That's the whole point of healing, right? Like, so you don't attract the same pattern that you've been living out year after year after year. Like, I don't want that pattern anymore. Like, I want to be completely healed and done from that pattern, you know? And so the only way to break that pattern is to do your inner work. That's what I do for people. They have sessions with me and they have massive breakthroughs about how they feel. So, like, until I can feel okay with myself in spite of all that shit, then no one's going to be able to feed that back to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess that's where they say, well, if you don't learn to love yourself, no one will love you. So I guess I'm kind of like doing that right now. But a big part of that means that going up against the toxicity that they fed to you, and I'm just no longer going to eat their no longer going to eat that. That's not what I want. So, you know, I felt like I did a very nice job handling my triggers today, but then I also got reamed out pretty much, and it's like, you know what? I will stand up for myself. I did stand up for myself, and unfortunately, that looks like I'm mean. But like, oh well. Oh fucking well. Has anyone ever been nice to me? Ever? See, I got people who have been nice to me who I am absolutely wonderful to. Like, I'm a nice person to people who are kind to me. But if you want to start in with your little underhanded digs that you think that I don't fucking pick up, no, you're not gonna do that. No, you don't get to do that, because I'll just fucking sit there and say, what did you mean? Do you want to explain that? What exactly are you saying? Like, oh, now you sound like an asshole when you fucking spell it out, right? Like, no, I'm not gonna sit there and put up with underhanded digs. I'm not gonna put up with any of the bullshit. So I guess that makes me a bitch. I don't know. Anyways, about to smoke my fucking CBD and calm the fuck down. But I'll tell you what, I'm making strides. I really feel like I'm making some good strides. And you know, I'm just gonna have to keep carrying on here. I'm just gonna have to keep carrying on. That's what I said before. I said, oh, well, at my funeral, don't show up and pretend like you give a fuck, because none of you care. What's so simple? I'm alive now, and not one person fucking cares. So don't pretend shit when I'm dead, because that ain't cool. But yeah. Anyways, I will talk to you at another time.